Hi, I'm Jochen Schlese from Schlese Saddlery Service. Today I'd like to talk to you about the 9 points of saddle fitting for the Western saddle. My passion is to protect horse and rider from long-term damage. I see a lot of people out there to fit their horses, but unintentionally hurt the horses. My focus is doing research on horses' back with experts around the world, with biomechanics for horse and rider, as well as a lot of scientific research. I want to simplify it with the 9 points of saddle fit for the Western saddle. So please join me and let's go through the step one by one. So before we get going and go into the individual 9 points of saddle fitting, I'd like to draw your attention to the horse's back. I have drawn a figure here what humans use since 4,500 years and figured out where the horse can carry the most weight for a long period. I like to also point out through modern technology what our grandfathers knew, what areas is extremely sensitive to the horse. The flank area is where absolutely no pressure should be. Now the difference between pressure and contact I will go into a little bit later through the individual stops. Between each vertebrae there are nerves and veins coming out, and we don't want to hit those nerves. So the channel is very important, which we address later on as well. Probably the worst area for the horse to experience any kind of pressure is in this triangle right through here. We don't want any pressure in this area. I'm going to go more in detail when we talk about the tree width and the tree angle. So the next area, what is very important, is this point right here. Very important for endurance riders or long distance riders. This is the MP13, the lung meridian point. If the saddle pressures there too much, the horse will not use their full breathing, and as a competitive rider, as a trail rider, as a hobby rider, that's not what I want to do to my horse. Same stuff your ears are made of, cartilage. It's a huge blob of cartilage on top of every horse's shoulder blade, and that is something we do not want to damage. So you see there's a lot of red, but you also see there's an area right here. That's the area where we're going to focus when we go through the 9 points of saddle fit. Now I'd like to talk to you about the even contact for the bars. The main contact should be right here in this area, and while your saddle might be a little bit longer to the back or to the front, the even contact I like to talk about now, it's right in this area. So if this is simulating the bars of your saddle, you can see here how the saddle sits nicely, even contact all the way front to back. Let me put some trees on it. I'm going to put this saddle tree on, and what I see right from the get-go, there's a lot of pressure in the front, a lot of pressure in the back, especially my red zone, and it's hollow or bridging in the middle. That's probably a very common problem what we see in the Western world. We also see a lot of white hair on the front and in the back, and hardly any in the middle. The saddle should never bridge or be hollow, as that causes excess pressure in the front and in the back, despite the theory of some people have that the horse's back will come up. If that would be true, we would also see white hair in the middle. We barely see that. Now let's put this saddle tree on. Right from the get-go, I can see that this saddle tree sits much better on the saddle's weight-bearing surface. We have no pressure on the front in the red zone, none in the back, and we have a nice even contact all the way on top of this saddle support area. Now, why is it so important that the most contact should be in the saddle support area? If you go to your horse and you push with your fingers gentle, you can even use your nails, you will see you can push quite a bit, a lot of pressure the horse tolerates in this area. This long muscle goes underneath the shoulder to the bottom 4 vertebrae of the horse's neck and attaches to the pelvis. It's the longest muscle, also the thickest muscle. This area here, where the trapezius is, the spinalis, a lot of nerve endings come out. This is a very sensitive area. So if you picture how much contact your saddle can hold here, not a lot in this area. If I touch this area, you will see the horse will react. And the reason the horse reacts there, just like you will do, you can see on the shoulder how it's twitching a little bit there. Okay, so this is not pain. This is the same as if you touch your funny bone, and that gives you that nerve what feels all the way to the fingertips. So the horse doesn't like pressure on the spine, on the withers, or on top of the cartilage and of the shoulder, which needs to move freely. The flank area, very sensitive. Absolutely no weight can be tolerated, pressure can be tolerated in that area. Check for even contact on the saddle support area. You want to put your Navajo pad on, your saddle on, and you want to see in this red area that you get easy your hand underneath, easy the hand underneath, and you get a nice even contact underneath the bar and on top of the saddle support area. Let's put the Navajo pad on. Once you place the saddle in the right position behind the shoulder blade, you want to see, like here, I can easily slide my hand underneath the front. So the flare of the bars are really, really important. And it's not too much and it's not too little. The pressure in the middle of the seat, the same in the back, underneath the last concha right here, in that red area, I can easily slide my hands. And then I'm trying to go underneath the pad, and I lift up the saddle a little bit so I get my hand underneath the tree. When you turn your hand over, it's easier for you to pull it through. So lift up the saddle a little bit, try to get underneath the front as well. Put your hand against the cantle and then easily slide your hand. Take it very slow, and in this particular saddle I can really feel a nice even contact. If this is the bar, feel the bars even, and this is the saddle support area, I feel even contact. That's how the full contact of the bars on top of the saddle support area should fit. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you find these tips very helpful. This is my calling, my passion. I like to protect horse and riders from long-term damage. Everything I showed you here, if it's your own horse, if it's your Olympic horse, if it's your pleasure horse, you will see he will be thanking you by you knowing more where the saddle can and should not sit. Thank you very much.